welcome back to the Winterpeg Report. I am your host, Mark Adam. I am here with a very special guest. We have a very different formatted event for you today. We're going to be throwing in some actual music because we worked the legalities out and we can actually play this on YouTube, which is insane. YouTube is all over us all the time, but not today. We shall prevail. So get social with us. Follow the WPG Magazine on all the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're also on Twitch and TikTok. There's no content out on the TikTok yet, but again, follow it. It's coming. I promise. I know I've been saying that for a couple of weeks. It's coming. It's coming. I mean, TikTok is a weird platform, and I'm still trying to figure out the algorithms, and I don't want to jump in there and then tank it. So let's get that right from the get-go. So follow us on all of those, and also I can just stop bashing my microphone around. That would help. But you can reach us on the WPG talk line 431-800-4555. You can also reach us by email, podcasts@thewpg.ca. If you have a comment about one of the guests we had on, if you want to be a guest, or if you know there's a guest I should have on the show, that's how you get in touch with us. If you are looking to advertise here on the Winterpeg Report or on any of the other content that the WPG produces, or just straight up on the WPG.ca. We have some great advertising packages there. You can get a hold of us. 431-489-2401 is the number to call, or you can email ads@thewpg.ca. That comes straight to me. I'll handle it for you. It's a personal touch. All right, so.
Now that's service.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So you're hearing her in the background, so why don't I just bring her out? This is Christy Taronno.
I can't pipe down. I'm sorry.
Listen, I get it. So Christy is a musician, running the band. Is the band? Let's get into it. Who is Paper Machetes? Is it you?
Hi.
It's you and Danny. What's going on?
Paper Machetes is led by myself, run by myself. I write all of the music, but I'm also the band would not be what it is without my partner Danny, who plays drums. And recently we just added another official member named Justin Delorme, who did all the producing for the EP, and he plays guitars for us. And then we've got a bassist who's sometimes it's Mario Lagasse, who's a kick-ass dude, and sometimes it's my big brother Sandy, who's also a kick-ass dude. So, we're a four-piece. And we've also got Lindsay Torres, who does backup vocals for us for our live shows. So we're always a group performance, but I do a lot of the back-end work myself.
Right. And you actually own and produce your own music. It isn't run through a label or any other production
All
house.
Independent, yeah.
And you're able to do that, I understand, through grants and things like that, without going into too much detail, because first of all, don't give away all your trade secrets in how you got it done. And secondly, I'm sure that going through the legal process is not exactly an interesting topic for a podcast. But how much work was that?
Well, yeah. So the EP was funded by partially a grant from Factor and partially self-funded. So, I mean, I highly recommend anyone go to Factor. They have an artist development grant, just a flat $2,000, and the submission process is, once you get used to it, it's actually quite forgiving. They're really welcoming to new artists who maybe haven't found their legs in the industry just yet. It's a really good way to get started. And now I've just got a bunch of submissions sent in to MFM, just playing that whole game.
Nice. I like it. And you navigating that whole, it's its own thing. Forget there's the band and there's the music. You have to write the music.
And then there's the admin.
Oh, I can't even imagine trying to do all of that. That's why so many bands are like, we need to find somebody to do this crap for us.
Well, see, here's the thing is I do have a day job, but I very much consider music as a decent amount of time for a second job as well. But I'm already sitting in front of a computer. So anytime I have a break in my, actual work, I buckle down and put a few hours in, a week to get my music admin stuff in there.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's great that you're in that position where you can do that. And has it been all you? Have people been helping you do that kind of stuff? Pointing you through, you have a musical family. Is that helpful in a lot of ways?
My big brother Sandy is a really good resource to me. He's, as I was growing up, trying to kind of find my legs as a musician, he kind of served as a bit of a mentor and always pointed me in the right direction. And another huge help to me is all the folks at Manitoba Music. Anytime I have any questions or just need to know who to ask about certain kind of questions, especially in terms of the grant process and everything,
Right.
they've always pointed me in the right direction. And then I can always talk to like Bonnie Seidel at MFM or some of the folks at Factor. Yeah. You just, once you kind of get yourself a little network, just an email network. It's just email. It's not scary. Once you know who to ask questions to, then, it's not too scary.
That's fair. And I don't, it's terrifying to me to think about that process, but if I ever go down that road, I will call you, and you will be very irritated with me very quickly.
I'm so happy to help people with that stuff.
Oh, that's amazing. And that's the thing about like local musicians are so generally willing to help other local musicians. And I think with the production value that you have, like nobody in Winnipeg would know just hearing it that, oh, that must have been local. Like why else would I be hearing it? Because it's actually really high quality stuff. And I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
So
that's a huge part of, that's why I love working with Justin Delorme. He creates grade A stuff. He's only 28, and he makes a full-time living doing compositions and soundtracking for film and TV here in Winnipeg. And his work is incredible. I'm so happy to be working with him. His whatever he pumps out sounds sparkly and amazing.
That's awesome. And you recently, I mean, you've got music out over a few years now, but recently you just launched a brand new EP. Tell us about Balancing Act. Like,
sure. You could consider it a debut. Paper Machetes did release something, I think it was like 2017. We just did a couple of singles, but that was at a time where I didn't know where to put it. I didn't know how to use Spotify. I didn't know how to stream things. So it was just kind of sitting quietly on a Bandcamp, and Paper Machetes wasn't really playing any shows. And it was just kind of like me writing for a good long time in the behind the scenes. And then once it was time to put these songs on tape, it was like, okay, we're launching Paper Machetes properly. We're picking the favorite songs, and we're actually going to put them down properly. So Balancing Act was, I think the oldest song was written probably 2016 or 2017, whereas the newest one would have been in 2020 when we recorded it. But they all kind of have, all the 5 tracks on this EP kind of have a tying theme, which is kind of our relationship with larger ideas. Like, how do you reconcile the fact that you're tiny and insignificant in a vast and unforgiving world? How do you make sense of all these huge ideas and the weight of existence? It's very existential, while still trying to focus on your day-to-day and not get lost in all these huge ideas, and just still like sit there and appreciate what's right in front of you at the same time. So that was a big inspiration behind all the songs, and it's still kind of a theme that permeates in my other stuff as well. So I'm just happy that kind of some of those ideas are out there right now, because it had been concepts percolating in my head for years, and I just really, really, really wanted to share them. So I'm really happy it's out now.
All right. Well, listen, and I did the intro at the beginning. I'm telling people we're playing this music. Let's get to it. Let's play the first track. It's called Balancing Act. It's the title track off the album. And so can you tell me more about that song specifically?
Mm-hmm. This was kind of the first song we recorded as kind of an inspiration for the whole EP. It kind of encompasses the ideas that I was just talking about in a full way. But I don't want to over-explain it, because let's keep it ambiguous, because that's the kind of lyrics these are.
Nice.
So just take what you want from it.
Yeah, it means what it means to you, and not
means what it means to you.
Don't worry about what it means to the artist, because it means what it means to you. So here it is, Balancing Act by Paper Machetes, as I am joined here by Christy Taronno on the WPG Magazine's The Winterpeg Report.
I had a name. I was born in a field. Oh, you don't hear much from me. But I'm waiting in the grass. I am short and I'm long. I get picked last. Somebody told me it'll be over soon. Really make it all last. And the wind keeps blowing by. It's so old and so new. Is there only one sky? Look at the stars. Does it make you feel big? Wanna wander with you. What makes life so huge? It's a balancing act, and I wonder, are we doing it right? I broke the tether, and I told myself I could fix it any day. But the scale goes up and down, and I'm teetering by, losing pound by pound. So look at the stars. Does it make you feel big? Wanna wander with you. What makes life so huge? It's a balancing act, and I wonder, are we doing it right? It's the only thing that can keep me alive. You and that bright sky. It's a balancing act, and I wonder, are we doing it right? It's the only thing that can keep me alive. You and that bright sky. It's a balancing act, and I wonder, are we doing it right?
Awesome. Absolutely amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
Oh, we better pause that.
Oh, yeah.
We're not ready for
A
that
little
yet.
sneak peek of the next one. Ooh.
I did that on purpose.
Just to keep people on their toes.
/ I could have fixed it, but now we called attention to it. But whatever.
Whatever. Show must go on, baby.
Post-production who? Anyway, yeah, I love that tune. It's so like, it's
Thanks,
almost
man.
haunting. You also have a very unique voice.
Thank you.
Like I've always, and every time I know, because you and I are part of the same friend group, so when we go to these larger camping events that we like to do, I always force you to play, and I don't know if you're comfortable with that or not, but I
force you to play. It's cool.
That's yeah. I think
No,
it's-
you play on your own volition.
yeah, I have no problem with that. Like I'm the loud guy in the corner. Who cares?
Great.
But yeah, so you do performances, you record these things. You have such a unique voice. Do you have a hard time playing in front of people when it's just kind of like, "Hey, Christy, play us a tune," like "Dance Monkey"? Like
A little.
yeah.
Secretly, I'm an outgoing introvert, is what I tell people. So I'm like shy on the inside, but not on the outside. So it definitely like taps into that where, and also let's give a little bit of historical context.
Sure.
I grew up in a large, very musical family, and I'm the youngest. And it was many, many Christmases of my dad very much encouraging me and my brothers to get up on the piano and play for our aunts and uncles. So it's a very visceral response from my teen years. Going, don't make me play anything, Dad. I'm too shy.
Right. That makes
but
sense.
Honestly, but in the last few years, I've actually changed my attitude about that very consciously, because being a musician and being an artist is something that is not, it's not so much what I thought, which is it's not just me going, hey, everyone, look at me. It's more of a gift to the folks around you. Like, they want to be entertained and dazzled or whatever it is you do as a performer. It enriches them too. So as an artist, it's kind of your like responsibility to step up for them out of love for them.
See, and I've never looked at it that way. Like, as a performer, I've always been like, I've got this thing and I want to do it. I don't know if people will like it, but like, I just need to get it out. And
but that's so much that too.
Yeah. I've never looked at it from like they want this from you. Like, sometimes I'm just like, am I annoying anybody up here? Like,
I try to think of it now as like it's a gift for you. Like, here's a gift for my friends, you know?
Right. Well, that makes sense.
I hope they see it that way.
That's a much healthier way to look at it than I've been looking at it for the last, I'm 39, so a lot of years.
That took a little work, though. I got around to it.
Fair enough. So you said you are the youngest of a musical family. First of all, how many siblings are there? And when exactly did you start in the music game? Or was it like out like the delivery room, they were just like, oh man, can she ever sing, when you're just crying? And they just started you that day? No?
I'm a bit of a late bloomer, but I'm the youngest of three. I've got two big brothers. They're quite a bit older than I am. So Sandy's 10 years older, Jamie's 6 years older. So we're all quite spread out, which makes for interesting relationships. And then I've also got tons of really talented cousins as well. It just seems to run in the family, even on both sides. So there's always that element. And then the other part of your question was, oh, right.
When did you start?
I started secretly practicing when no one was home when I was a teenager. And then I'd be mortified if anyone came home while I was singing. So I hit it and hit it and hit it until probably I was 19 when I finally performed something in front of my family. And they were all like, when did you learn to do that? And then I started like playing properly live in the city when I was about 21. I had a band called Settlers. That's where I met Danny. And it was like hard rock, kind of Smashing Pumpkins style, grungy stuff. And that was really fun. Did that for about 5 years. Took a bit of a break, and now it's Paper Machetes.
Nice. I love it. I love it. And so, like, because you have a musical family, do you feel extra pressure or less pressure because you have there's those talented brothers and the family has enough and whatever I give them is bonus? Or is it like, oh, now I have to live up to this? Like, which way?
Very much number two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But don't get like they're so supportive, and they treat me like whatever you do is just great, just as long as you're happy, and they're so supportive, and I like.
So you put that pressure on yourself then?
100%. It's totally self-inflicted.
Excellent. I feel that. Like I have all this pressure when I play. I'm like, I have to be good, and I don't know why. I have like my family is not necessarily what you would consider classically musical. My whole life, I don't ever think I've seen either of my parents hold an instrument. My dad had a guitar that I tuned for him. I've never seen him play it.
It's in tune.
But every time I go to his house, I tune it for him. Whether he uses it or not, I don't know. And my sister writes songs, but
Yeah, your
doesn't.
sister writes great stuff.
You actually recorded one of the songs she wrote.
I collaborated with her once. Yeah, that was really fun.
It's not on Spotify, but it's on your SoundCloud.
It's on SoundCloud, actually.
So
Yeah,
you
it's
can-
still up there.
And
I forgot about that.
I didn't get the link prepped for that.
That's okay. But yeah, you can check out Paper Machetes SoundCloud as well, which I forget is there, but I do upload stuff. So
Yeah, so there you go. So that's the thing. Check it out. It's called Slow Down. And that was actually really, really cool. I almost forgot. We're sitting down and doing this thing about your music, and I totally forgot that you recorded my sister's song.
I just remember
she's not
going
to be happy with me.
Hey, we came around to it.
All right, she'll forgive me, I hope. Love you.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
That's my whole life. Sometimes I don't even ask. I just do stuff. But anyway, she was very, very happy with how that turned out. But what are your influences as far as your sound? Because you have such a unique voice. Who is it? Do you try to emulate anyone, or do you do you, but you have like these like sort of bends because of these other people? Or who would you say is like a direct influence of your music?
So I find the influence comes in more when I'm trying to craft songs. So I would definitely say folks like Ben Folds and Elton John, Lana Del Rey. Those are some of my tops. Right now I really like Father John Misty. But in terms of vocally, it's been kind of interesting because I actually haven't heard all that many folks that sound like me. I did come across recently Sharon Van Etten, who has a really cool kind of attitude behind her delivery, which I related to a lot. I would definitely check her out. But yeah, I mean, I just grew up practicing to Elton John. I'd listen to Ella Fitzgerald just in terms of like chops stuff, and it's just a whole hodgepodge.
I love that you mentioned Ben Folds, because I hear Ben Folds in your music, and it took me a bit to hear that. Like when I sit back and I'm like, who is in here? And you know who else? And I don't know if you're gonna like or not like this, but there's an element of Jewel, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
Like
okay.
I feel like that sort
that's
of
great.
more poetic, kind of slow, clear, purposeful delivery. I really hear a lot of that in your music.
I'll take that. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
I'm glad you take it as the compliment I mean it to be.
Listen, honestly, if it's music, I'll probably like it.
Right. And for those that
like
don't know,
things.
we have or had, it's on hiatus at the moment, but a section on the WPG called Tunes Day, where every Tuesday, and then it became every second Tuesday, and now we're on hiatus.
Busier.
Right. Well, because we had time during the lockdown. Because people forget, I started this events-based business in March 2020. Perfect timing. And so like we all had a lot of extra time on our hands because nobody was allowed to leave their houses. But yeah, as you've gotten more busy, we've had to pare back on how much of that we put out. But I would love to get back into that because you have great taste in music.
Thank you. Yeah, Tuesday was my my little recommendation column, and you gave me the space to just write about whatever album I felt like writing about, whether it was new or old or whatever. Yeah. That was super fun.
Yeah, and I loved it because I would listen and along, every time you would post one, I would go and listen to whatever album that is as I'm reading it, and I was like, yeah, this totally suits the mood of what is happening in the world right now. Like,
yeah, I tried to make it timely, right? So like, not necessarily exactly what's going on in the news, but maybe like what we're feeling in the city right now.
Yeah,
I definitely recommend people go check those out. Give a little read. They take 2 minutes.
Yeah, like literally, some of them are 2-minute reads. Like it's just here's the album. Here's a little blurb about it, and here's why I liked it or didn't. Here's what you're looking for, basically. Yeah. And I love it, and I would love to get back to that. But I love your taste in music. Has your eclecticness found its way into the music, or do you? Because I know I like a lot of different types of music, but I know I'm only capable of producing a certain type. Is that a problem for you?
Sure. I know my song, I mean, like anyone, there's a tendency that you kind of tend to go towards when you're writing, but I've definitely been finding that there's I'm having trouble categorizing these songs because I think I'm like a master of, what is it? Master of none.
Jack of all trades, master of
Jack
none?
of all
Yeah.
trades, but master of none sort of person. So, I mean, you can probably hear it in the EP. There's a lot of different genres just crammed into 5 songs. And even I'll find that like I'll write something, I'll be like, this isn't for Paper Machetes, this is for something else or whatever.
Yeah,
But
because you just don't hear it as a Paper Machetes song.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. Or maybe it just needs to be me at keys, or like there's no point in me playing this just on keys. This needs a full band. Like,
Right. Right. I get that too, and I just get stumped because I don't have a musical family to lean on, and so like when I'm like, oh, this needs more than this guitar, I just put it down and then I walk away from it. So you obviously don't. You have the resources to make this happen.
yeah. Well, for a long time though, I felt like it was just me and my piano, and I actually didn't always have a lot of people to lean on and play with. Like they were there, but I didn't feel like they were at my disposal.
Mm-hmm.
So over the last few years, that's been a major like quality of life improvement, is gathering people around me to like play my tunes with me.
Speaking of your tunes, let's talk
great.
about the weather.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, small talk.
Yeah. So the second track on your EP, Balancing Act, is called The Weather. I'm about to play it. Why don't you cue it up for us?
Sure. This is a song kind of railing against popular apathy that tends to sink in whenever we get hit with too much bad news at once.
Welcome to 2022. All right. So this is called The Weather by the one and only Paper Machetes.
Like a flower, my soul's hovering in front of my face. I tense and twist with the land. You say the roads are paved with gold, but I think they just sprayed them with sand. Say something. Nothing ain't much better. If we gotta say something, what's wrong with the weather? Don't What's wrong with the weather? We gotta say something. Nothing ain't much better. Oh, if we gotta say something. What's wrong with the weather? We gotta say something.
What indeed is wrong with the weather? What indeed, I should say.
What could it be?
I loved, like, it's so rocky. That song, I feel, could be used, like, I'm picturing, like, this movie where the bad guy's, like, becoming the bad guy because they're just so overwhelmed.
An evil montage.
Right, like just, like, but, like, in one of those tragic ways, like where this person is like choosing to do something they wouldn't otherwise do because of negative things that are going on with them right now. Do you know what I mean?
Like all of a sudden they're out on the street buying drugs, going back to their apartment.
Or somebody really like embarrassed them or did something, and they're going for that Carrie moment where they're just going to turn shit on.
They're like writing in their death note.
Yeah. It just got this like the world is almost over feel to it. I love it. Like, it's so, but and yet somewhere in there there's hope. Like, it's weird.
That's the line I try to do. It's like melancholy all the way, but I try to keep a thread of hope usually.
Yeah.
Actually, which is very much the single that we're working on right now, actually, is very much another "the world is ending" theme, but there's hope amidst that.
Right. So basically what everybody feels in the world right now. Like, the world is ending. Maybe, probably. But
well, I mean, yeah, so the one that I'm doing, we've just been recording it all throughout the last like 2 weeks. It's a song called Apocalypse, and the tagline is,
that's pointed.
The kind of like the end of the chorus is, at least we got each other, right?
That has a very Death Cab, I will follow you into the dark sound to it. Like, just in its not in the sound of the song, but in like
its pure emo-ness.
Yeah, just like, well, there's no heaven, there's no hell, but I'll go to nothing with you. So it's just like, yeah, I like that. That's great. I like it. All right, so we got there's 3 more songs we got to get through. I mean, I don't know if you saw when I did the overhead shot my mess of a desk here, but what is
an impressive mess?
Yeah, what is Keepin' Clean about? Because I feel like it isn't about this kind of a mess.
That's a pandemic song. That's my pandemic song very much. And it took me everything in my power to not rhyme Keepin' Clean with quarantine. It took a lot of self-control. So I just hope everyone can appreciate that I didn't go there.
And with that, we're going to drop into it. This is Keepin' Clean by Paper Machetes. Again, I'm here with the one and only Christy Taronno of Paper Machetes, and we are talking all about her music, which you can find on multiple platforms if you head over to wpg.news/balancingact. So let's dive into this tune right now. This one's called Keepin' Clean.
No noise in the sky, no fuel to fry. It's quiet on my street. For once I can hear my feet. Did we rinse it away? I'm too scared to ask for everything to come back. I'm keeping clean. Don't touch me. I'm all I need. 'Cause I know where I've been. No fog in the air. No more grease in my hair. Nothing's bogging me down, except for my worry for my town. I'm keeping clean. Don't touch me. I'm all I need. 'Cause I know where I've been. It comes from my love. I know the sky's opened up. Show the kindness of strangers. I'm keeping clean. 'Cause I know where I've been. So I'm taking time. 'Cause my presence is a crime. I'm all I need. 'Cause I know where I've been. So I'm keeping clean. I'm keeping clean.
So good. So
Oh,
good.
thanks.
It's so good. I like your voice, like it lends itself to a bunch of different styles, and it's just, again, like super unique. Like you said, like there's very few people that sound like you. And I really, as a person who also does
You
not
can
sound
quote
like
me on
anyone
that.
else,
I say that about myself all the time.
but like I've been saying that since the beginning. But there's
You've
nobody
been a
that's,
very solid supporter of mine ever since we met. I'm pretty sure, actually, I'm not sure if I'm remembering this right, but I seem to recall. So you and I, you met me and Danny at Folk Fest, and I'm pretty sure within like
Yeah.
5 minutes of meeting you, you were helping us unload our car.
yeah, I had a wagon, so you guys showed up, and I was like, yeah, let's go. Yeah,
That's what it was.
no big deal. I like
So
whatever.
supportive.
Well, you were part of our friend group, and that's why I was there to meet new people and have a good time. And I mean, if anybody has been to Folk Fest, they know, Folk Fest is Folk Fest, and everybody is just good people there. Well, everyone should be good people there.
There you go.
Yeah, not everyone is good people all the time, but that's just how she goes. Can we talk about the aesthetic? By the way,
Sure.
I'm just going to bring up this here. The 70s, like yellow and orange color with the bike, and then in this next shot you got Danny with those just the Converse and the socks and the whole 9 yards. Can you give us more details on like that photo shoot? Whose idea was all that stuff? I'm assuming yours, but I mean,
well, that
how
was
did that
a
all come to be?
collaboration.
Okay.
That whole shoot was a bit of a collaboration. I got my most artistic friends in a couple of video chats. So Adam Jeffkins, he helped me with all the layout and the graphic art. Risa Watkins, she's one of my best friends, and she helped me kind of style the thing and helped me stage the whole yard. We're in her parents' yard on a very, very hot day in August. And then, of course, Janelle Sulit, who helped me who did all the photographs, and he's our favorite photographer to use. He's a close friend of ours as well.
I love Janelle.
He's just got the best eye. I love when he shoots film, so we got a bunch of film photos. He actually shot our CD release show on film, which is very hard to do for a live show, and he actually got some amazing shots. I'm always so impressed with his eye.
Yeah, he's something else. I remember one time, and again, same friend group, right? So we all went camping. Were you at? It would have been the Harvest Moon one year. I think you were there. And
I went to one Harvest Moon. Yeah.
He had that busted Polaroid camera that kept taking ghost photos.
Yeah,
it was amazing. But he climbed.
And you know what?
He climbed that tree, and he took this photo of our giant group from up in a tree, literally, like up in a tree. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And it turned out so good. Like the guy just.
My favorite part of it too is he's quite a bit younger than a good chunk of us.
Yeah.
So we like tease him for being the youngest guy in the group, and there he is like scampering up a tree, and we're like, "Oh, careful, Sonny."
Yeah.
Wow, you never see me do that and break my back.
I mean, and he's also physically like very small compared to most of our group is weirdly large.
Yeah.
When you think about the core.
I mean, I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
Can't tell from here.
Yeah. But, and I'm 6'4", and you got Bender and AJ and like Webb, and like everybody that's part of that group is like basically just about 6 feet or taller. Like it's a lot of really big people. And so you got.
So he had to get in the tree.
Exactly. But he's also like, he's not a short guy. He's an average heighted guy, but he looks so short next to all of us. It's just so crazy. But he's such a good artist. Great camera work. I'm very impressed with. And I didn't know he took those promo shots. So that's really impressive.
Yeah, he took all of our promo shots. Even the headshot that you've got on probably the thumbnail for this.
Yeah.
We took that in my dining room. I just love working with him.
For those listening to the audio podcast, I will put these images up on the WPG.ca when I post the episode itself. So it'll be under bonus content at the bottom, so don't worry about that. You'll be able to see all what we're talking about. And the thumbnail obviously is right at the top of that page as well. But if you're listening to the audio podcast and you prefer video, this is on YouTube, just FYI. For those watching on YouTube, you know that already. But you can also fire it in your favorite audio podcast platform for when you're in the car or whatever. So we're an all access program.
All the places. You can even have it on your speakers, the audio, and then you can have the YouTube playing too, and then get your friend to just play it on their Spotify or whatever they're streaming on, and just mute it, and just any device you've got, just play it.
And don't forget, it's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, Breaker, Deezer. But am I missing any? I don't know. There's probably Radio Public. Anyway, no, it's okay. There's you can listen to it basically on any platform you listen to podcasts.
Channel 5 public access at 2:42 a.m.
Yeah, Shaw Cable 10, whatever. Tomorrow Breaks My Heart is another tune that the title kind of speaks for itself a little bit. You want to cue it up for us and we'll get that rolling?
Yeah, this one's a little love letter to all the people you meet along the way in this crazy journey called life, and how you never quite know how those relationships are going to turn out, but you should appreciate them while they happen.
So this is Tomorrow Breaks My Heart by the one and only Paper Machetes, who is right here with us today.
Another plan warps in time till I don't even recognize where it began. I was so sure that I was seeing through clear eyes. We took a walk and talked about the people that had passed us by, like a day of rain, like a day of sun, like a day of anything. They pass us by. Tomorrow brings a new day, but it breaks my heart to this day. So hope you stay. trusted everyone like they were Jesus Christ. She took a fall and landed among liars and users. She remembered all their names. She remembered everything. She never thought she'd wipe them clean, but they passed her by. Tomorrow brings a new day, but it breaks my heart to this day. I'll tell you everything that you need to know that I know. So I hope you stay. Maybe when we're older, we can tell who loved us by the ones who stand beside us still. Maybe when we're older, we can tell who loved us by the ones who stand beside us still. Tomorrow brings a new day, but it breaks my heart to this day. I'll tell you everything that you need to know that I know. Tomorrow brings a new day, but it breaks my heart to this day. I'll tell you everything that you need to know that I know. I hope you stay.
Another banger. So good. I don't know if yours have been called that before, but I love your tunes.
Yeah, it's such a banger.
It's what the kids call a bop.
song.
It's a bop. You know, it's got like a driving like. Da-na-na-na-na. I love it.
It's my little Beatles walk around. Doon, 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 doon.
I like it. It's like classic, but also classy, and it's I don't know. It
A
just,
lady loves to be called classy.
I'm glad I can oblige, but she didn't pay me to say that either. So what's next for Paper Machetes then? What's the next thing you're working on right now, other than you said you have the Apocalypse song you're talking about?
Yeah, so Apocalypse will be coming out soon. I'll let all the socials know when they can expect to see that. So hopefully early spring, not too far from now. And then we've got our next show. Now that things are back up and running, I'm working on getting our schedule back on track. So at least I can say we have one show coming up for Winterruption. So you can find us. We're going to be playing at XQ's on the Sunday night. So I believe that's April 3rd. Mm-hmm. So definitely come down to Winterruption and check us out. We've only had a chance to play live a few times since there's that little window in the pandemic, and we got some really amazing shows in. So I'm just so excited to keep going. We've got a really good live act together now.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds great, like across the board. It just sounds really awesome. I will reiterate for those on the audio podcast, follow on Facebook, facebook.com/Paper Machetes. On Instagram, you can find her at It's Me, Christy T.
Yep. I do all the Paper Machetes news and everything just on my Insta, so keep an eye on that.
Yeah, It's Me, Christy T on Instagram. And I created a little short, because DistroKid // would be hard to remember for trying to say things, but wpg.news/balancing act, and that will take you straight to the DistroKid link, where there's a link to the iTunes and Spotify and all the other platforms. So go there.
If you can, I'll just toss this out here because it's tough out there being a musician. Anytime you want to support your favorite acts through streaming, I know they don't get paid much, but at least if you save the songs, if you follow the artist, if you click the heart, if you add their songs to playlists, all of that metrically does really well. So just remember that for any artist you're trying to support, like, follow, add to playlists, please. It means a lot.
I have already done that to all of your stuff, but I will also put, I created a playlist of all the Paper Machetes songs that are on Spotify, and I will put the link to that. You'll be able to catch that on the wpg.ca when I post the episode up. I will also put the link in the YouTube description. So
sounds good.
That'll be there.
All the promo.
All the places. That's why we're here. The WPG magazine exists to promote local stuff. Originally, the idea was events, and then the pandemic was like, nope. And so now we're just like...
Any good business, I mean, nowadays you got to pivot.
Yeah, it's all about the pivot. Yeah. And I mean, luckily, our mandate was basically local anything. And I had all these plans for other local stuff I wanted to add later, but I just ended up adding them way sooner than I meant to. Because I had a roadmap of my business plan, and it didn't include not being able to see other human beings for months on end. So it is what it is. But that link will be there.
Here we are.
We're chatting. We're still talking local. I'm reaching through my computer screen, you know. So that's all we can do. Yes. Yeah. Hi. It's not bizarre at all.
Whatever. It's my life.
Yeah, well, I mean, welcome to it. But there's one last track on this album. It's called Ugly Duckling. Now, that's a little off-putting title, or is it? Like, you decide as a listener. But could you want to cue it up for us, and then we'll get that rolling?
This one, more than anything, is about time and about love. I'm going to leave it vague.
I like it. Leaving it vague. This is Ugly Duckling by Paper Machetes, right here on the WPG Magazine's The Winterpeg Report. And I am joined by the writer, performer, the whole thing, Christy Taronno. So let's have a listen.
Thank you for having me. Woo!
We'll be back right after this tune, so don't go anywhere. I got more stuff for you real quick before we go.
I've been thinking of all the different kinds of love and all the forsaken who never find what they look for. But we've been around longer than we ever knew. I am yours. I am your ugly duckling. Once I saw us swimming in the pool of time. We've been around. Yes, we have. We got stirred up with all these different kinds of souls, always facing up and never knowing which way to go. But we've been around longer than we ever knew. sinking in the pool of time. We've been around.
And that is Ugly Duckling. That's such a good, like another one where it's like there's a bit of a haunting feel to it, but it's not like the whole time. Like,
Well, I don't want to scare you.
or do you?
Not too spooky.
No, it's good. Like, you said that am I allowed to say that might be your favorite?
Yeah, sure.
On the album.
I said secretly it's my favorite one.
Not so secret anymore.
Structurally, it doesn't make sense, and I didn't know if anyone was gonna like it, but it's near to my heart, that one.
And I love it. I like all 5 tracks.
Thank you.
Picking a favorite of those 5, I would have a very hard time.
That's very nice to hear. I appreciate that.
Well, it's just a good album. I mean, you did a good thing, and Winnipeggers should be very proud that this came out of Winnipeg. Knowing
That's so nice of you to say.
Well, I really like it. I think if I was forced to pick a favorite, I might say The Weather.
I've heard that one. Yep.
I think that might be my favorite on that album.
Had some outspoken fans come to me with that one.
I'm very partial to your tune "Fragile Things," which is a single you released.
Yeah,
I very much like that.
Oldie. And
you actually permitted me to use that for a promo thing in May of 2020.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because that was the big WPG launch party, and your track was actually the promo track. So that was very, very kind of you to do, and I
always
really
getting support from my buddy Adam.
If you're gonna allow me to talk to you, this is content for me. Like, I'm not doing you favors; you're doing me the favor, right? That's how this works.
Artists,
but one last question before we go, because we've been going for a while.
This has been so fun. Yeah,
it has been super fun, and I'm super glad that you were able to do this. We were supposed to have a different group, but there was some kerfuffles on their end, and they weren't able to be here this week, which is not a problem. We will have them on down the road. Not a problem. But I'm so glad you were able to join us. One question that I have left for you is, what is your dream gig? Like, if you got to play a gig, and I'm going to limit it to Winnipeg.
Sure.
Right? What's your dream gig here in town? Because it's the WPG magazine. I want to know about Winnipeg. If you got to play in any venue with any other band, what would you think would be the one for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I got to check my vision board. I mean, honestly, I can't even think. All I can say is, like, goals right now is festivals, like any of those amazing summer festivals we have here in Manitoba, like a chance to play, like, say, Harvest Moon or Folk Fest or Rainbow Trout, like just getting any of those sorts of gigs. Since we're so early, this is going to be our first round of submitting to festivals, and like if we get a chance to play anything like that, I'm just going to be so over the moon to be like
over the Harvest Moon,
but playing under the moon for a bunch of scantily clad summer people.
Do they have to be scantily clad, or
yes,
if that's part of your dream? Okay, got it.
I want the people in the crowd to be sexy. That's part of my daydream. So yeah, if we can make that happen, that'd be great.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. I don't know who's listening out there, but make it happen. So again,
just keep being sexy. You don't need to do anything else, folks.
Again, you can find the EP that we have played the entirety of, all 5 tracks, on all of the platforms. But if you go to wpg.news/balancing act, all the links will be there, making it easy for you to find your favorite one. Follow Christy on Instagram at itsmechristyt. And you can connect with Paper Machetes on Facebook by going to facebook.com/papermachetes. You can also connect with us. We're the WPG Magazine. You can find us again on all these social media platforms. See them all over there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Again, we are on Twitch and TikTok. There's nothing on the TikTok yet, but do follow us. It's at or / the WPG Magazine on all of them. I think that pretty much covers it up. If you want to be a guest, or you know there should be a guest on this podcast, email podcasts@thewpg.ca, or you can call or text and leave a message on the WPG talk line. That number is 431. I know, 431. 431-800-4555. That is that for today. I really want to thank Christy for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you, Mr. Adam.
I am honored to have you on the show, and I'm also honored to call you friend. So I'm very lucky that I get to be part of your friend group in the real world, IRL, as they say. And
that IRL I keep hearing about.
Yeah, I know. It used to be a thing. Remember? There was dial-up internet. It was wild. But anyway, we're done. We're out of time. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week right here on the Winterpeg Report.
The Winterpeg Report.
She said it.